Tell me about Also Dear. Well, I can't remember because we wrote it 20 years ago. That one was probably about in the middle of the writing sessions. It took me about 4 days just to do the drum loop because I went down a very deep rabbit hole and started it, and then I'm like, I have to finish it now. I remember with that one when I sent it to the boys, it's always a bit of a nervy thing because you haven't really shown anyone any ideas. So you send something out there and then I'm just waiting for the 3 dots to come back for the feedback. And I remember Jared said, I'm so happy I'm in a band with people that write good songs. And I'm like, awesome. I think they like it.
I said hello, Irish!
Who are the Also Dear?
The crowd.
Oh.
The crowd. You probably want to learn about what the fuck I'm talking about.
Who are these dear people to Steve?
So it was, the idea lyrically came to me from a point of view of like I think I might have had a conversation with someone about trying to be an honest politician and how it's impossible, but sort of standing up there on the lectern with heaps of people there and trying to give your speech with sounding genuine, but then you end up just saying the same old cliches, I suppose. And then it sort of derived into us being up there performing to a crowd. So the lyric is like, you're all so dear, I can't choose anymore, is when I'm singing that to the crowd. And the verses are sort of about a guy who's trying to do the right thing and slowly becoming corrupt, you know, trying his best not to, but the world sort of pushes him in that kind of direction.
Yeah, this one was the brainchild of Steve, and I think when I heard it the first time, it took me a little while to work out what chords he was playing, and I think that's because he wasn't playing sort of standard run-of-the-mill chords, and I was just like, it sounds like this, but there's something else in there, and then it turned out eventually I had to get Steve to actually video call me. I'm like, oh, what is this? And then it was good, but I actually like it because, I think, you can get too caught up in doing, guitar's a great instrument where you can do lots of, there's so many different configurations of playing the chord. And I think he ended up playing a chord with a strange note in the bass, and it was the note in the bass that was the part that sort of dissonance was the part that sort of caught my ear. And it was just because, and I said, oh, why did you play the chord like that? He goes, oh, I don't know how to actually play that chord properly, but it turns out that it was actually a cooler way of, I thought it was cooler anyway. And I think it's good that you can just sort of, some people can pick up guitar and just sort of play things that are not, they're not, I guess you would say, not musically correct, but they actually sound better, and I think that's what I got out of it.
I'm a big fan of this song. It's a good opener, and it hits the ground running. I felt coming from the chords Jazz was talking about, I found a lot of freedom in the bass when I put the bass line down for that, and I got to do a thing that I've always really liked, which is kind of shifting the bass note. Like you're running the root notes. It's what I call, several people possibly call straight eight. So it's a high speed song, and then just shifting away from the root note to the fifth or to something like that, while the guitar hasn't moved. And then the guitar moves, and then the bass moves, and the guitar moves again, and then the bass moves. And it has dynamics. It hits the ground running, it just goes, and then it kind of pulls up and gets a little atmospheric, which is nice. It's not a rock song that just bludgeons you from start to finish.
when we got the demo happening for this one, the drum loop song, it was pretty much done. I went, oh, that sounds really good. And then I thought I'll try something else. I ended up going to what the drum loop was. That's the main part of the beat, as in the obviously the pre-chorus parts, and then the sort of bridge part that we've added in later, add those extra dynamics. But essentially that bottom line is the drum loop that you made up. And I actually preferred that over what I was trying to come up with, because I thought I'll just try it just to see, but I ended up liking that one better. I thought, well,
Pretty straight.
it's done, yeah. Yeah, it's sort of, in the solo part, it does this progression, this chord progression, and then to a, like a crescendo, and then a little bit of a bridge, and then back into it. And it's just, yeah, it works.
The solo sort of starts in the bridge, and then sort of shoots into this epic ending where we go into the last chorus. It was quite fun to nut it out. I sort of went through a few different iterations, and but yeah, it was, I was quite happy with how it turned out in the end. It was a bit of a bitch to play, but anyway.